Okay, so before we get into some more details about information architecture, I think it's very important that we talk about the roots of information architecture. And information architecture has its roots in psychology, um, and specifically cognitive psychology. Right now, what is cognitive psychology? Cognitive psychology is essentially the study of the human mind and its components. Right? It talks about, or it's the study of, I'm sorry, or it examines how we learn, how we memorize things, how we pay attention to things, and how we perceive things, right? How we reason, how we communicate, how we develop and fully grasp concepts. And most importantly, for a business person or an information architect, actually, most importantly, is how we make decisions, right? Because the ultimate goal of an information architect is to design a structure with which people, your users, your consumers, make favorable decisions towards your products or your services. Now, within cognitive psychology, information architects are primarily interested in three aspects, right? And the first aspect that we're interested in is cognitive load. So, what is the cognitive load? The cognitive load is the quantity of information that any user can consume at any given time, right? So, think about it. Imagine that you are lost and you are in a street that you're not so sure of, right? But you're looking for something specific, and you stop on the road and you see a person. You say, "Excuse me, sir or ma'am, may I please have directions to X, Y, and Z?" Right? And they start going on, and they say, "Make a right here," and then you're gonna see this red light, right? And on that red light, you're gonna stop, but you stop for 2 seconds, and then you walk further down, and then you stop again, and then you make a left, and then when you make a left, you make a right, and then when you make a right, you go further down, and you're gonna see this house, and the house has a yellow brick or whatever, and you're gonna make a left. Now imagine as you're standing there, you're sitting there, and you're trying to process all this information, right? It just at some point ends up going blah 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 blah, right? You have no idea what the person is talking about. Never mind that they're actually giving you the proper information. The point is the amount of information they're giving you is far more than you can process, right? At that specific time, and so essentially you shut down. And that is what a cognitive load is. So information architects need to be conscious of that because the same principles apply in your digital infrastructure. Okay, the second part that we're interested in, the second aspect of cognitive psychology we're interested in, is our mental models. Right. So what are mental models? Mental models are the presumptions that potential customers have within their consciousness before reaching your website, right? So, in other words, they're deeply held internal images of how the world works, images that limit us to familiar ways of thinking and acting, right? So, let me give you an example. Imagine that you want to take a girl out for a date, right? And you say, "Baby, I want to take you out for a date. You are special. I want to treat you right, and you know what? I want to make this night just the most special night ever." Right now, before this lady, or if you're a lady, before you say yes, imagine the picture that comes to your head. Right? You think about a waiter, you think about wine, you think about the ambiance, you think about all that jazz. Right? So before you even go on this date, right, ultimately you have this preconceived notion of of your expectations, right, and of what this experience is meant to look like. Now imagine then that dude picks you up, and he's playing the Nora Jones and the Miles Davis to set the mood, and voila, you end up at freaking McDonald's. Right? That is the best I think analogy for this. Mental models are preconceptions that we have, either based on the experiences that we have, or based on the expectations that we have, for a specific product or service, right? In the digital sphere, that often happens, right, where we have mental models, and those expectations are sadly not met, right? So someone puts out this beautiful image on social media, for this product or something profound, and they say, "Check out my website," and then you click on